hit multiple times coming out of that bike section. More drivers coming to blows.
Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning from wherever you are watching. Welcome to Slow Motion Broadcasting for XSLR Season 10, Round 13, live from Virginia International Raceway. Adam Thomsen here alongside me, Ron Maunz, who's also behind the cameras tonight. And we are officially in the touring cars, the TCR cars now. So some road course racing coming your way for the next 4 weeks. And Ron, I could not be more excited to see these TCRs go to battle here, especially after the recent run of rallycross races that we have witnessed here.
See, I love those rally cars. I think they put on some really fun racing, but I can also understand that some of these drivers were probably suffering from some pretty severe migraines after those races were said and done. So, if I'm being honest here, I'm just looking forward to having a tame night here on SMB. I have a 21-lap long race to look forward to here for these TCRs. These TCR cars, I've gotten the opportunity to cover them from time to time. There was only one series that I really fully dived deep and got the opportunity to cover for a whole season, and that was for the Ray Esports Club Racing League during the 2024-25 season. Outside of that, and a couple of one-off shows, you don't really, I've never really got the opportunity to cover these TCRs, and that's for an interesting reason. They just don't really get a lot of love, which is a bit of a shame. You know, before GT3 racing was as big as it is in real life and in the sim, there was touring car racing. Touring cars back in the 90s and the 2000s were basically what GT3 cars are now. So it's a bit of a shame that these cars don't really have the same amount of popularity that others do.
Well, I love TCR racing as a person who has ran a TCR league, and of course has a big, huge respect for racing series like the British Touring Car Series and other touring car series. It is some of the best racing that you will see out there, and what's nice is that these guys go, they can bang doors and, still bring that classic racing feeling and not get penalized for it. It can be really fun as we are into qualifying here, and we're watching with Colin Finland, who has made his return here to XSLR. Good to see him back. Of course, Brad Cathcart is here, Andy Cossack, Corey Patton, Derek Folk, who's the road course king of the XSLR League. Charles Boschel is also racing tonight. Jake Ham, Jason Grider, Jake Schilling, Adam Thomsen, Joshua Sushi, Tyler Brown, and of course Matt Less as well. So we're waiting for lap times to come in. There's Jake Ham trying to vie for back-to-back podiums here at I should say not podiums, championships, but it's going to be tough. And of course, he is running a Red Bull livery.
Yeah, so chances are if we see any drivers go for a kamikaze dive heading off into turn number 1, it may be coming from him just for the simple sake that that's how it usually goes for F1 lobbies. So we'll have to see exactly how that works. Even in open wheel ranks here on iRacing, that's usually how it goes with a driver with an F1 paint scheme, and that's going to be that driver that goes for the kamikaze dive. Looking at the first times being set here in qualifying, though, Derek Folk jumps up to the top of the board. Andy Cossack slotted in P2 in a very simple paint scheme. Andy Cossack always running these nice little, I'm trying to think of is it still kind of like blue? I think that's just chrome blue.
It's like a teal blue chrome or metallic.
It's like slightly radioactive cotton candy.
Pretty much, and as he is right now, 7/10 down on Derek Folk, as we mentioned earlier. Derek Folk, the road course king last season, swept all the road courses. Now, what's very interesting about this particular season of XSLR is that last year we only had the 4 series. We did dirt oval, dirt road, asphalt oval, and road course. This year it's different. We've added a 5th series for the season, and that is because of iRacing's split between sports car rating and open wheel rating. And so this is the technical start of the sports car season with the TCRs. And then after 4 weeks of this, we will head to open wheel cars, which, if I remember correctly, is the Formula 3 or the F3 car, Ron.
Yeah. And I adore those F3 cars. There's another series that we get to cover here on Slow Motion Broadcasting, that being the Sim Racers Group F3 Championship. And you can see coming up there, they're actually going to be broadcasted on Christmas Eve. I'll be running solo on that show, ringing in Christmas with some fantastic Formula 3 action. But those cars are super duper fun. They were pretty much my first love on iRacing as well. They were one of the first cars I really got the opportunity to sink my teeth into, and ever since then they're just an absolute joy to drive. Put on some amazing racing, and expecting that to come out of here with XSLR. Everybody has completed their qualifying and nobody's really out there on the racetrack, so trying to find a driver who's actually on the circuit is like trying to play a game of whack-a-mole with TCRs. Seeing Joshua Suchi, I'm trying to figure out exactly what the paint scheme is on that car. Oh, it's
Legos!
I thought it was Tetris for a second.
No, it's the beautiful art of Legos! As he's in the Honda. as he is in the Honda Civic. Of course, it looks like every TCR is being used. Of course, the Audi, which the top 2 times are an Audi driver, Derek Volk and Tyler Brown. Jake Schilling in the Hyundai with Adam Thomsen and Andy Kosick. The fastest Honda Civic right now, Jake Ham with that VTEC. Everybody gives a kind of a big deal, a big stink about the Honda Civic. Colin Finland is in Audi for this race with Corey Patton in the Civic, and Matt Lass also in an Audi, along with Jason Grider and Brad Cathcart in a Hyundai. I'm not sure which Hyundai they're in.
Yeah,
and
that is the worry,
because there's 2 different ones.
Yeah, we've got the Veloster, which I can understand, and the Elantra, which
the Veloster's going to have a bigger tailgate. That's kind of the one difference between that and the Elantra. The Elantra is more of like a stock car, more of like a sedan looking car. So keep an eye out on that. I wish we could tell who was who, but obviously that ain't gonna happen.
I'm sorry, I just want to budge in here. The Elantra, that is a chunk of a vehicle. Like that is just a chunk of car. Pretty much.
I'm not a fan of it. I love the Audi, big Audi guy. Love Audi. As somebody who appreciates the Audi GT3 Evo 2 and just their GT3 lineup. Audi is one of my favorite manufacturers. Their R8 is one of the most amazing cars ever built. And of course, you look through their entire history with their Quattro from the Group B rally days, and how pretty much they built a steel body car and just said and put whatever they wanted into it, and just said and told the driver, just go. Yeah, that car. If you have not looked at an Audi Quattro from the Group B rally days, you are missing out. It's my desktop background. That car, incredibly unsafe to drive, incredibly stupid in today's safety standards, but one of the most gorgeous looking, beautiful cars you will ever bear witness to. And the engine, I'm telling you, it's better than some things in life. So as we're riding on board here with Tyler Coates, he's just trying to navigate along here. I think he's still kind of learning VIR, which I will say VIR, kind of a big racetrack for these TCR cars.
Yeah, you know it is, as he just got booted out. Qualifying now officially drawn to a conclusion. But yeah, this track is rather big. They call it America's Nürburgring, and there are some similarities. Lots of grass on the outside of this racetrack. This track is storied as well in the world of American motorsports. For a brief period of time from the 70s through into the year 2000, the track was actually abandoned for quite some time, but it's now back in the world of racing, and expecting to have a good run of things here tonight with the TCRs as we ring in this part of the season. But Adam, it looks like we have the drivers lining up on the back straightaway, have a short pace lap. So let's take a look at that starting grid here for the 13th round of this season.
Starting on the pole position, Derek Volk looking to increase his dominance as the road course king, with Tyler Brown starting in second. In the second row, Jake Schilling starting in third, and in fourth, the championship leader of Adam Thomsen. Row 3, Andy Kosick will start fifth in the number 50 car, and the championship contender Jake Ham starting in sixth. Colin Finland and Corey Patton will start in row 4. In row 5, Matt Lass and Brad Cathcart. And Ron, who else do we got starting here?
We got Jason Grider and Joshua Succi starting this race in P11 and 12, rounding out row number 6. And rounding out your field tonight will be Charles Beauchel alongside Tyler Coates. Now, spoke to Charles, of course, last week on this show, but many times, in fact, as well. He was very much so looking forward to bringing in the road course stuff, getting back behind the wheel of a track that goes left and right on nothing but asphalt. I think he's looking forward to it. Going to be starting this 13th race from the P13 spot. Actually, on the subject of last week's show at Atlanta, Adam, you were not available for that, and I gotta wonder, how do you get arrested in South Dakota? Did you urinate on Mount Rushmore?
Good question. No, you can do a number of different things. Of course, it was been cold around here, so I had to find some things to keep warm, and let's just keep it at that.
Did you?
Now I make you wonder.
Oh boy!
No,
Oh boy.
last week I was playing in a dart tournament, a couple different events for the EDC World Darts Championship. Did not make it very far, unfortunately. So, but that's how it goes. So, Derek Falk leading the field away here in that Zoot Lord Racing livery machine. And this is going to be something, I would say, here. As the pace car pulls off here, green flag will fly here in just a moment. This is a long straightaway. And we are green flag racing here at Virginia International Raceway. As everybody getting a good start here, going side by side as we approach the first turn. And out in front, Derek Falk with Tyler Brown hot on his heels here, with Adam Thomsen now bumping himself into third. Jake Schilling further back in that Hyundai in fourth, but Adam Thomsen, good race start there, moving up already one position here, now is free to chase down, and that's the Elantra. That's what Adam Thomsen is driving. Jake Schilling is in the Veloster. So there you go. That's the difference, ladies and gentlemen. In case you were wondering, how do we tell who is who? Well, look at the big end on the back of Jake Schilling. That is the Veloster, and then you have Adam Thomsen out there in front of him, much smaller hatchback, and that is the Elantra.
Yeah, and those Velosters I always really enjoy as, we see Jake Ham running off the track, heading off through South Bend, turn number 10 on this racetrack, all through Oak Tree, which they have kept the name of still, even though the Oak Tree got struck by lightning about a decade and a half ago. But I've always been a little bit partial to the look of that Veloster for a very odd reason. If anyone ever played the old Forza games, Forza Motorsport 4 primarily comes to mind back before the entire Forza series went to hell in a handbasket. If anyone's ever driven the old Citroen DS3 that they had in that game, that was a fun car, and it was a good-looking car as well, and it looks very, very similar to the way that the Hyundai Veloster looks both in real life and obviously in its race car configuration here. I've always been a little bit partial to the way these cars look. I like the little... It looks like a very fat person sat on the back of it, but it gives it a little bit of whimsy.
Well, I apologize to all the fat people out there, and
Yeah,
we see Andy
including me.
Cossack. I was about to make a joke, but Andy Cossack already into the pits. I do not see an incident from him, so Andy Cossack is pulling in immediately here, and there should be a pit stop in this race as well, right, Ron?
I believe so, with 21 laps being our tally here tonight. I have a feeling that may be what comes to pass. So, following him down in pit lane at the current moment, we'll see exactly what sort of deal that we have from him pit stop-wise. Looks fairly clean and routine as, what has happened to Charles Beauchot? He's gone off the circuit in a rather dramatic way, and he's got damage. Let's take a look at this. I feel bad highlighting it, Charles. I'm sorry. Runs wide off through Hog Pen, and
Oh, that's a hard hit, and obviously was given the meatball flag and had to come back to the pits early, but he will get out there momentarily. Let's take a look here from Tyler Coates' angle here. Yep, and Charles Beauchot just getting a little bit wide through the final corner and smack dab right into the wall. And that, unfortunately, means he is out of contention here. He'll stay in 14th. So, unless he gets a has a miracle at this point, he is officially down a lap. As Derek Falk still out in front, but only by half a second. Tyler Brown keeping it within distance here, along with Adam Thomsen, Jake Schilling as well. Jake Ham trying to join this battle, but he's a little bit farther away. He hasn't gotten up to Jake Schilling, and he's going to have to find a way to make a move by the fourth place runner of Jake Schilling here, as they will get the draft as much as it can be. These cars don't have much of a draft, I would say, as you would normally think, like a Mazda does. But J Cam just working his way ever so closely, gets right to the bumper here, and you can see the shock setup for Jake Schilling there, and now they're side by side through the S's. And right now, J Cam just trying to do whatever he can to try and get by Jake Schilling here, as he had an opportunity there for just a moment, but unfortunately that opportunity has passed here, Ron.
I'm going to jump back to the nose cam here with Jake Ham, because I've discovered something interesting. I never noticed that the Veloster just has one single exhaust pipe sticking at dead center out of the back of the car. I have never noticed that in my entire time covering TCRs, which I will be honest is rather limited, but even still, you know, I consider myself to be rather attentive whenever I see even the most minor of things and minute of details. We'll be able to see a little bit of it as Jake Ham gonna close it up slightly between himself and Jake Schilling. They have Ham following out of this battle, though. He's gonna have a slowdown penalty. Same gonna be said about Adam Thomsen. Oak Tree gonna be a very tricky corner for these racers tonight, because it is so vital to head your way through there with a lot of speed, because even in these TCRs, which compared to some of the equipment that we have here on SMB is rather quick, these cars do have a little bit of get up and go to them. You still gotta worry about getting the good runs, especially on a massively long straightaway like that. And considering how tricky Oak Tree is generally, that's gonna be a lot easier said than done for these racers, as Schilling nearly losing it, trying to get past Thomsen, who's trying to serve that slowdown, and now Jake Ham, after serving his, is gonna be right there to pounce.
There, and he is side by side down the front straightaway. It does get by Jake Schilling, and he moves up into fourth, allowing him to go attack Adam Thomsen, as we are on lap number 4. And then there's Corey Patton in the Zoot Lord Racing Machine as well. And Ron, most of these cars have single exhaust systems. I hate to break it to you.
Oh God, they do. Oh God,
they're like a stock car, Ron. They're just like a normal everyday car. So they all have different things. Let's take a look and see what happened here to Jason Grider, as we got reports that he did have an incident. Yep.
Oh.
And that shock and that his entire tire rod completely destroyed on that race car. So he's gonna have to limp it back to the pits.
Listen to that engine purr. You can just see the sparks flying. Yeah, that is a good point, actually.
You can hear it. I unfortunately cannot. Just due to myself being an idiot, I totally forgot that iRacing was had a big update, 32 gigabytes worth, and I forgot to do that the other day. Corey Patton getting by Jake Cam. Jake Cam had a slowdown at some point. This allows Colin Finland to get into the mix as well. 3 cars battling for the same spot here. Side by side, a little bit of bump and tug. And, Colin Finland got bumped by Jake Cam, but Jake Cam muscling his way through. And Colin Finland does keep it straight. What a great save there by the 66.
Yeah, that's one good thing about these TCRs. If there is a little bit of incidental contact, which it's touring car racing, that will happen at some point in time, you could just give the boot full, and you'll be able to get out of any sort of incident virtually scot-free. So Colin Finland proving that point rather well right there, as still the battling going on a little bit farther up the road. Jake Schilling holding on to fourth at the moment. Corey Patton trying to make something work, and even running off into the dirt as he headed his way out of 1 through 2 and now into turn number 3. Can run so many different lines here in these TCRs. It takes a certain amount of finesse, but you can make it work as he goes for the dive, heading off through left hook. Now about to head his way through the snake. Pan trying to apply some pressure to Schilling, as Pan feeling some pressure himself from Ham.
Jake Ham doing everything he can to regain the spots that he had lost. He was already up to 4th, but now has lost a couple of spots. He is right here on the back of this group, and he is watching Jake Schilling and Adam Thomsen, Tyler Brown, Derek Folk all drive away here.
A little train for him.
Yeah, a little bit of a train. Jake Schilling right now doing everything he can to stay out in front of it in that Veloster. And everything he's doing is right. But Corey Patton picking up a time penalty here. And that's going to allow Jake Ham to get into that 5th spot. But Corey Patton's going to be smart about when he takes it. And right now, Corey Patton, I mean, he hasn't slowed down at all. He's been giving the warning. But it's just a matter of if or when. Tyler Coates in the pit lanes has allowed Charles Bushell to get up into 12th. Just an update there. There goes Jake Ham. He dives it through the outside, and he takes a spot. And Corey Patton has not lost just 1, but 2 spots. So a 2-for-1 for Corey Patton as he falls down to 7th. And who is coming into the pits? That's Corey Patton, going to make his pit stop here on lap number 6.
Yeah, as that's going on, we're going to take a look to see what happened with Tyler Coates heading down into turn number 1. Well, that's an anticlimactic incident. Patton down in pit lane right now, so the second racer to come into the pits of his own volition. And the previous driver to do that is a driver that I think is just about to overtake him sooner rather than later. Andy Kostick, who's pretty much running all by his lonesome down in P11. Pretty much nobody around him at the current moment. We'll switch from the interval to the gap real quick so you can kind of see what the state of affairs are currently. He's right behind Corey Patton now. That Patton has come down pit lane and now got to try and sweep around the outside, and Charles Bochelle well farther in the back. So gotta be keeping our eyes and tabs on this battle that's going on here at the current moment. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly. I was expecting this race to be a little bit dull, as much as Derek Folk is driving off into the sunset as we kind of expected. These drivers of these TCRs, I think it's just a matter of them not being very confident in them and having mistakes like Jake Ham may have just had.
Jake Ham, another mistake cost him a boatload of places, down to 8th. Oh, just getting the tail way out of shape. Almost collects Colin Finland after already one earlier incident, but saves it.
For you.
Oh, man. That's a Code Brown moment.
Yeah. That I can confirm. I think Matt Last may have had an off-track moment shortly after this. And that was the off-track moment in question, as we could see the driver right up the road blinking in and out. But Matt Last proving that even the exit of Oak Tree is tricky. I think most of the slowdowns we've seen through Oak Tree have been down to drivers running wide on exit, not running wide, cutting it tight through the turn and not running wide on exit, I should say.
Well, Jake Ham is going to gladly take the position from Matt Last away, as Matt Last is now pulled into the pits here, and Andy Kostick now gaining another spot on Corey Patton, moves himself into the top 10. Joshua Sushi has moved into 8th due to Matt Last's pit stop here, and Jake Ham hounding Brad Cathcart here on lap number 7 of 21.
Yeah, that lap car in the midst of that, Jason Grider, he's had a pretty rough go of things here in this race. Still running out there on the racetrack, keeping it out there at the current moment. I think it's the best way that we could sum it up. Matt Last still down in pit lane, in fact. I think something has gone wrong with this pit stop. You can see Andy Kostick and Corey Patton, they're already heading their way off through turn number 1. Matt Last still down in pit lane, 34, 35, 36, 37 seconds. Not down the pit lane itself, but down in his pit stall. So this is painful stuff from Matt Last. He finally gets it up and rolling after spending 42.73 seconds down pit lane. I think he pulled off a Days of Thunder. I think he pulled off a Talladega Nights and went out for a chicken sandwich as he was down pit lane.
Yeah, definitely a penalty of some sort. Probably speeding into the pit lane would be that call. So he will unfortunately lose some time there, as Jake Ham now again still hounding the resident Aussie, who definitely probably had some celebrations last night as Australia defeats England in the Ashes Test Cricket Series in the second shortest amount of time, and ties the second shortest amount of time in Test cricket. So he is feeling good to know that the Aussies got another Test victory over England. And if you're wondering, yes, I do watch cricket. That's how I know about that. So congratulations to Australia. And congratulations to Brad Cathcart. He is definitely, I guarantee you, he celebrated yesterday after that was all done.
Yeah, I can imagine. So also,
sorry for the incursion. Talking about celebration, yesterday's celebration. Happy birthday to Ron. I have a quick question. Is Adam out of fuel yet?
Meow.
Thanks, Guido.
Yeah, I was gonna say good morning to Guido. It's been a little while since I had a chat with him, been a couple of weeks, in fact, now. And yeah, well, good morning, Guido. Thank you for that. I appreciate that on several reasons. Happy birthday wishes being among them, but also coming in immediately making a joke about Adam, which we love to see. The Adam out there on the racetrack, not the Adam here in the booth. We love you, Adam.
The wet Thomsen.
The wet Thomsen, the dry Thomsen. See, the problem that I've got is I've got dyslexia, so whenever I think of, like, okay, who's the wet Thomsen, who's the dry Thomsen, I have to think it over once more. So that's... I always have to clang my 3 brain cells together to try and figure it out. Which is actually a lie, by the way. There's no way in hell I have 3 brain cells.
You have 1.
And a half at most.
That half one sometimes isn't operating, as Jake Ham down to 10th, as he did make a pit stop. So now he's got some fresh rubber and some fuel, and he'll just have to try and make his way through the traffic. He's actually, Andy Kosick, making that early pit stop has really worked out for him, as he's into the 8th spot here. Still down a few spots, but he's making his way forward. Right now, the biggest mover, Joshua Sushi, up 5, as Derek Folk and Tyler Brown leading the pack away here in the Audi.
Yeah, nice to see a good representation here in this field, because a lot of times in single-class multi-make racing, whether it be GT3s, GT4s, TCRs, you see everybody just run the exact same car because they want to have the advantage. In the TCRs, nobody's feeling comfortable in any of the cars, so gives us a little bit of variety, a spice of life out there on the racetrack, if you would. Andy Kosick and Corey Patton going to duke it out side by side across the line to begin another lap. Who's going to win out in this fight? Down into the braking zone through turn number 1. Can give it to Penn. Does run a little bit deep there. I think he kissed the apex just enough to keep Kosick at bay, but in all this, it is bringing Jake Ham back into this, who's going to have a catbird seat to see this battle. Let's take a look at it actually from the gyro cam.
The gyro cam, which on a track like this isn't going to do us much good with the gyro. It's just going to keep us really just pointed straight, unlike what we've seen in the past. A little bit, but not terribly much. Not like what we would see on a Road Atlanta or Road America or a Laguna Seca or a Coda.
Next week here on SMP. Sorry, that was cheap. I apologize.
That was such a cheap promotion, Ron. Jeez. As Jake Ham does get the move done, as Andy Kosick did go off the racetrack, Jake Ham says, "Thank you very much. I will get on my way." And as it starts to get darker, which is interesting, these guys don't have the headlights. They do have headlights on the car, but they're not very bright.
Like me. Yeah, that's
Yep.
That may be a problem.
Yeah.
This oh. that was a softball. I had to swing at that. The thing is with this racetrack is, you know, sports car racing is kind of synonymous with VIR. They run IMSA every year here. The SCCA National Championship runoffs have been held here on several occasions, including multiple times throughout this past decade. But you don't really see endurance racing here, and there's a good reason for that. I think the closest street light to this track is probably about 50 miles away. That's obviously an exaggeration, but you get the point anyways. This track doesn't really have the same level of artificial lighting that you have at a track like Daytona, so it's a little bit tricky to run multi-class racing off into the night. So this is going to be rather fascinating to see it both from a visibility side of things, or not being able to see it from a visibility side of things, I should say, and also from a track condition side of things as well. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the other little weather breakdown here so you can see how things are looking at the current moment. Only 67 degrees Fahrenheit for the track temperature, and with the sun slowly but surely dipping below that horizon, that could maybe go down even more.
Yes, it very well could. It'll be very interesting to see how everybody adapts to a colder track as we go into, as we're on lap number 10. So we still got 12 laps to go here as we're watching this battle between Colin Finland and Jake Schilling. Jake Schilling, obviously, in the Hyundai. Below steering, it's sideways. And of course, Colin Finland takes advantage of that because the Audi does not move at all through the corners, and he escapes with his life there. Again, another Code Brown moment, I would say.
Yeah, Code Brown moments indeed. That's not the first sideways snap that we've seen from a Hyundai. And I think the elevation change may be playing havoc to some of these racers. We've seen the main source of trouble be heading off through Hog Pen, the final turn around this racetrack. And trying to see if we can maybe see it from Corey Patton and Jake Ham, who just went through it there. And Kostic right in tow. I'll have to wait about 45 seconds until I can time it out with Matt Lass, who's now heading his way onto the backstretch. But that turn, very tricky in all sorts of cars, mainly sports cars is what I have learned. Whenever you have heavier race cars, the weight transfer as you head your way off through there, downhill on entry, and then it kind of bowls out, you start to gain the elevation, and then as soon as that happens, the grip goes from probably about negative 15 and spikes up to what feels like 15 quintillion, and as soon as that happens, the rear end's gonna say, ha, no.
Well, as this race is starting now, we are in the final 11 laps here. Corey Patton in 8th place, trying to fend off Jake Ham, but Jake Ham is coming quickly here. And of course, there's guys who have still yet to make a pit stop here.
That is very true. Pretty much the entirety of this field, more or less, has yet to come down pit lane. I'm going to work on it here in a couple of moments so you can see who has come down pit lane and who has not. But it's fair to say that up to this point here, pretty much everybody still needs to worry about it. Actually, I say everybody, it's kind of split down the middle. You got the top 7 who have yet to come down for their stop, and the bottom 7 who have come down for their stop. Now, I am counting Tyler Coates in this situation, even though he doesn't really count because he's, out of the race. But pretty much the back half of the field has come down pit lane. The top half has not. So it's split as evenly as you can get in a field that currently has an odd number of cars on circuit.
Corey Patton doing everything he can to stay in front of Jake Ham. It'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out, because pretty much everybody, Corey Patton, Jake Ham, Eddie Kostic, are all within range here of Joshua Shushi. I would also say Brad Cathcart, and possibly even Jake Schilling. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these pit stops shake up, and of course, penalties and all that. Ron, I got a question for you as we're continuing to watch this battle between Jake Ham and Corey Patton. What would you rank out of all the major road course racetracks in the United States, or let's say North America? Let's include Mosport and Montreal and of course Mexico City into that. How would you rank VIR? Where would you put that?
Ooh, okay, this is tricky. Now, I'm going to say this is just in general, because if we rank it by different metrics, it'll fluctuate quite a great deal. I'm going to say it is on the upper middle end, in my personal opinion. I think this track is good. It's certainly very fun to drive, and if you can ace it around this track, you're going to be feeling like $1,000,000. Quick little note, Adam Thomsen has now come down pit lane, so this will give us an opportunity to see a slow motion view of the pit lane here on Slow Motion Broadcasting as I continue to yap about this racetrack. You know, I think it puts on some good racing, depending on what kind of car you have around here. Now, some cars, it can be a little bit boring whenever you run around here. However, there are some where it is an absolute certified banger. You know, like a Spec Racer Ford running around here, a Formula V running around here. I even got the opportunity a couple of weeks ago on the Porsche Club of America sim racing series to cover that. One of our colleagues here at Slow Motion Broadcasting, Mr. Jair Gregory, is one of the drivers in that series that I got an opportunity to cover this past season, and it was a pretty darn good series of races that the Porsche Cup cars, the old Porsche Cup cars, had here. Now they have the new one and the brand new season build, so I'll have to make final judgment on that. But I think this track can put on some good racing. I personally think it's a little bit boring in terms of the scenery around it, which I'll tell you what, my computer is not complaining about one bit. The last time that I was producing a broadcast here on SMB was the other day. It was on Wednesday with the Ray Esports Club Racing League at the Charlotte Roval, and even though that new version of the track is over a season old, it is still about as optimized as, I don't know, a glass of prune juice with an olive in it. It is just... trying to run that on my graphics settings, even when I turned them down, I was getting about 40 FPS heading through that chicane and got horrible flashbacks to before the Las Vegas ARCA race here for XSLR when I fried my graphics card and had to produce that show at 30 FPS. So not very good flashbacks. I do think this track is, I would say it's about 2/3 up the list.
All right. Well, just was curious. For myself, I don't even put this in my top 5. Great scenery, great racetrack. Ooh, Derek Folk, a slight mistake there. Cost him a little bit of time as the top 3 has now moved into the pit lane here. Brad Cathcart, who hasn't made a stop, he's going to take advantage of this. Are we going to see an Aussie on the podium here tonight? Very well could.
Yeah, I think we
very
easily have that happen. I mean, Brad Cathcart, darn good racer here on SMB. I've covered him for many, many moons on Spec Racer Fords. I've seen him race here in XSLR, and I would say out of everybody in this field, he may be feeling the most rejuvenated. I nearly said refurnished. That sounds like he's an apartment. But no, I think it's the morning down there down under, so he's probably feeling the most at ease out of everybody. He's probably had his breakfast right now. That or he's munching the curbs around this racetrack as a true breakfast of champions, smacking into the yellow and green curbs that we have here at VIR. I think he may have a very good shot to get a podium, or at the very least a top 5. I think that is most certainly in the picture.
Well, he's right now out in front, obviously without the pit stop. And he's got Derek Folk, who was able to get out of the pits in P2, even though he had the slight mistake. But 5 seconds away from Derek Folk is Tyler Brown. Adam Thomsen starting to gain some time on the Audi of Tyler Brown. So it'll be very interesting. We've got to keep our eyes on that as well. But Brad Cathcart in the 905 car is your new race leader, the second race leader of this race.
Yeah, so Brad Cathcart cycling out to the race lead. We'll have to see if he comes down pit lane this time by about 2/3 of the way through this race at the moment. And there he is now making that breakaway to come down pit lane. So this will put the race lead back into Derek Folk's hands. And, you know, I'm not a betting man, but I'd be willing to get punted in the side of the head that Derek Folk is going to win this race.
That okay. I'm not even gonna.
Actually,
That half a brain cell ain't working today, Ron.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm actually going to share a funny moment that happened here. So, it's very rare that I talk about any sports outside of auto racing here on SMB. I mean, it's my job to talk about auto racing, so that kind of goes without saying. But I was tuning in yesterday to the Eagles game, and once we're done with this broadcast, I'm gonna have to play you the clip of me reacting to our field goal kicker missing his third field goal kick in a row in that game. We went on to win, which thank God for that, considering the Commanders have the Washington Commanders have about as bad of a record this year in DC as DC has had for the past 250 years as an existence. But the only time I've ever talked about sports here on these XSLR shows, and of course I mention it when the Eagles make a bad embarrassment out of themselves and somehow still walk away with a W. I only wish Ferrari could do the same at F1. I'm not even a Ferrari fan.
Well, as a Ferrari fan, yep.
Felt that. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, Ferrari.
Even though I can't.
I was going to say, like, Ferrari nowadays and the Philadelphia Eagles kind of resemble my time in middle and high school. Absolutely fumbling every single opportunity, but not completely folding.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm more of a Carlos Sainz fan, and that was the biggest mistake that they've ever made, considering that he had 2 podiums this year in a Williams, and how many did they have?
Nada. I will say you may need to watch the words slightly, just because Mr. Meow Meow, Mr. Adam Thomsen, is a pretty committed Lewis Hamilton fan, if my memory serves me correctly. I will
Please
say,
don't tell me that. Why would you tell me this? Now you're giving me fuel to add to the fire.
Oh boy. At this point, I'm hoping that, like, Colin Finland can kick on the Cuisinart to close up that 12-second gap, as what in the world just happened with Jake Ham and Corey Patton.
I think Corey Patton gave a little bit of a
bonk. Oh, Jake Ham giving the tap. It's the
you
Red
call
Bull
that-
move. It's a Red Bull dive.
I mean, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't egregious. Jake Ham was on the inside.
That's a TCR maneuver right there. That's a move you got to do in a touring car. Break out the elbows a little bit, get physical. And these cars, as much as they may seem tiny, they are surprisingly huge.
Yeah, they're big. You know, they do have kind of a wide body on them. But what's nice about them is that after you bang doors or bang wheels or whatever, guess what? They don't break in half.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the nice part. So, but Jake Ham up into the top 5 probably will be receiving some penalties after this one, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I wonder if there will be some penalties that get slapped onto his wrist at the end of this. I would not be too shocked. I think Race Control may have to look at some things. I say Race Control, it's a group review, so everybody get together in a little chill-out barbecue after these races are said and done and argue about incidents, which, I did Race Control long enough to let you know that if I ever have to argue about an on-track incident in an iRacing event ever again, I will start to eat my own hair, which, considering that I've got 3-foot-long hair, I would have plenty of opportunity to do so. So I'm hoping that I don't have to... I'm hoping that I don't need to cook my own hair. That just does not sound very appetizing.
Well, we are winding down 4 laps to go. And things are still spicy between Jake Ham and Corey Penn. That's really the only battle that's happening throughout the field as Corey Patton has been able to get a run here. Jake Schilling trying to fend off the resident Aussie of Brad Cathcart. He had a slow pit stop falling down the 9th.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the deal was there, but either way, it's yeah, you live and you learn, as Andy Kosik got to pick up a slowdown here. So that'll break these two away into their own little tussle. It's Ham and Penn running about a half a second apart as they head their way down the back straightaway into the roller coaster section. A pretty good spot to get a move done, and also a pretty good opportunity to see an accident happen.
Well, Corey Patton gets a good run here. He's right on the back bumper of Jake Ham. Jake Ham fending off the 6th place runner in the Honda Civic, and Jake Ham runs wide, and that opens up the door. Corey Patton will take it back, and that pretty much ends that real quickly here, as Jake Ham's going to have to fight back.
And now the real question is, will Jake Ham fight back? Will he do it down to turn number 3, and are we going to get a little bit of deja vu to what happened a little bit earlier on in this race? So let's see whether or not Ham is going to go for the dive, heading off here into 3. Turn is a little bit tricky because you're having a brake well on the exit of turn 2, and that exactly proves that Corey Patton runs wide, and Jake Ham got to slip past. Pretty easy and convincing stuff there to jump his way back up into the top 5. Patton slipping back in tow. Andy Kosik is about a second and a half behind, so these two are going to have to break out bare knuckle fist to really bring Kosik into the fold.
Which could happen. We still got 4 laps to go. And Kosik, watching this battle unfold, he senses an opportunity here because of the mistakes of Jake Ham. Jake Ham started 6th and has only gained 1 spot, and the furthest he's been up the board is into 4th, but has had a really a roller coaster of a day. Has not been able to find much consistency here at Virginia International Raceway.
I think everybody's been dealing with some troubles with inconsistency, and even the top running racers making an occasional mistake. Derek Folk had a moment, I believe, heading his way out of the final turn. I don't think he went off the track per se, but he did pick up a slowdown, which is going to eat a little bit into the 6.3 second gap between himself and Tyler Brown. So really no source of panic at the current moment if you're Derek Folk holding on to that top spot. Maybe a bit of panic if you're Jake Ham, though, because Corey Patton getting a pretty tremendous exit onto the start-finish straightaway. He may try and reel this gap in. Let's keep an eye on it, closing up a little bit. The draft in these cars just not that strong, surprisingly. So for Patton, he's going to be running in P6 and remaining there for now.
Well, right now, Jake Ham holding on to the race lead, or not the race lead, in the P5. Derek Folk out in front by 6 seconds. Adam Thomsen 3 seconds behind them. So the championship leader still on the podium here, but not getting a race win. Of course, looking back a couple weeks ago at IRP in the rallycross car, Adam Thompson's win streak coming to an end there due to an incident of his own creation. And now Corey Patton right now in 6th, trying to gain some time onto Jake Ham. But Jake Ham driving into the sunset here now as he's opened up the gap to just 0.8 of a second. And Corey Patton doing everything he can to get back up close and maybe ruffle some feathers as we are almost approaching 1 lap to go. We got technically 3 laps to go. Lap 19 of 21 here with Derek Folk out by 6.3 seconds.
Yeah, it's been pretty much faultless for Derek Folk thus far, and we haven't gotten the opportunity to take a look at it thus far, but I think it may be a high time to take a look at this here as we continue to follow Derek Folk holding on to that top spot. I think we'll actually break everything away with about 2 laps left to go. have a quick gander at the championship points, because I do want to raise the fact that Derek Folk has been on a bit of a charge. You can see him there in third at the moment here, Adam, and I feel like Derek Folk may have a very solid shot of taking home the championship. If he can get the max out of this TCR stint that he can, we could very well talk about Derek Folk maybe walking away from Season 10 of XSLR as our champion.
And of course, there's the three dropped races, so those will come into play. Adam Thomsen will have 0 points coming off of him. So right now, everything he collects does not come off. But Derek Folk, being the road course king, if he can capitalize on the TCR and the F3, we're talking something majorly different come the end of the season here. But tonight for Jake Ham, this is going to hurt pretty badly, only finishing in the 5th spot. He's had a rough form throughout really the season, hasn't had the wins like he did in Season 9, of course. So he's been really, really struggling this season just to find the form that he had last year.
Yeah, so Jake Ham, I think at the current moment is, I wouldn't necessarily say looking behind to see how long it's going to be until he gets overtaken up towards the front, but I think he and Adam Thomsen both feel like they have a bit of a target on their back, and you can also see new entrant into that, Edgar Sancinelli, with 7 points, and the main reason I wanted to show that is had to do a little bit of chicanery to get that up there, some trickery going on, some trickery afoot with some spreadsheets, and wanted to give some love to Frito himself. And speaking of Edgar Sancinelli and Frito Sport, you'll be able to catch the brand new season of the American Muscle Series now with Edgar Sancinelli at the helm of that series. He's going to be running it off, and with January 13th being the opening round of the season, of course, you'll be able to catch all of that action here on Slow Motion Broadcasting as we ring in the 2026 year here on iRacing, and soon we're about to ring in the year of 2026 period, which will be my, I guess, technically speaking, it'll be my 4th calendar year doing broadcasting, my 3rd year anniversary, with 2023 being when I got into this stuff. So time flies when you're having fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how SMB is going to grow in 2026. Got a lot of action to look forward to. Some brand new cars, some brand new tracks, some brand new series, fingers crossed as well. And so the same XSLR action that you always see, and it looks like as we enter 2026, we may have to talk more and more about the driver that is Derek Folk.
Derek Folk on to the back straightaway here, and back to a comment you made there. So this is your 3rd year of broadcasting?
Correct, yes. It was March 3rd, I think, of 2023 when I did my first ever show. It was funny. I had to basically bail out of my final classes of high school to do that, which didn't really matter to actually know. Those broadcasts were at 4. So, yeah.
February of this upcoming year will be my 12th year and working in some form of broadcasting, and in September of next year will be my 12th year of being on a microphone. And Derek Folk, he'll come across the line, and he will take that checkered flag and get another win. This is technically his 2nd win here at XSLR. May I remind you, he won a rallycross race due to Adam Thomsen crashing out. Tyler Brown will take 2nd. Adam Thomsen in 3rd. No threat behind him. Colin Finland in the 4th spot. And coming to the line here, Jake Ham will pick up a top 5 finish. He'll be happy about that. Andy Kosick. What has happened to Corey Patton? Corey Patton must have had an issue.
That he did.
Let's see what happened here to Corey Patton, and just went for a scenic ride through there. And so he will finish in the 7th spot. Jake Schilling in 8th. Brad Cathcart in the 9th spot. 10th will be Joshua Sushi. 11th, Matt Lash. Charles Bushell will finish in 12th after his earlier incident. Jason Grider and Tyler Coates did not complete this race. Well, good race there by Derek Folk to get a big win. And he is starting to inch closer, as Ron and I were talking about earlier, on that championship. And we'll ask him about that in our post-race show. Get our interviews set up here as we wait for the drivers to get in there. But Ron, overall decent race. Of course, next week, Road America.
Yeah, and Road America going to be very cool to round off the year of 2025 here on SMB. I'm already getting ahead of myself, rounding at 2026. We're still about a year away from that. But no, that'll be a fantastic way to ring in the 14th race of this season, round off 2025. That'll be on December the 28th here on Slow Motion Broadcasting. So even though I will be back on the air here on SMB before then, want to wish all of you a very happy and healthy Christmas this year. A Merry Christmas, I should say, and a happy and healthy New Year. We'll merge the two together here in this case. But no, it's I think Road America is going to be very cool. Really looking forward to it. And I'm also looking forward to seeing TCR cars hit the jump here at VIR, because this has disaster written all over it.
It really does. Let's see what happens. Oh, they found a detour. I don't think. Oh, there's a rail there.
Golly.
Don't destroy these beautiful cars. How dare you?
I'm just. See. Oh, I hear someone in the grass. Yeah. Yep, okay, well, there's Adam Thomsen gone. I was just going to say, watching these TCR cars take flight with that jump, it's maybe it's just down to the fact that we were running last time out of all places, it was at Atlanta. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Charles doing it pretty all right. Oh, he gets upside down. Did Charles Beauchel just ballpark it? God bless America, I think he did. But no, I was going to say, even maybe it's just the fact that we're racing at Atlanta next week or whatever the deal may be. But watching the TCR cars hit the jump there was a bit anticlimactic. I don't know why. It's just, I think these two cars are a little bit too heavy to try and get any sort of major airtime. I think they just look goofy even going off the circuit, because they're both incredibly small and absolutely massive at the same time.
Well, we got our interviews waiting here, Ron, and we'll bring in our race winner, Derek Folk. Talk to us here. Derek Folk, our race winner here in his second race win of season 10. Derek, you're still the road course king.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good race out there tonight. VIR is always a fun and challenging track. It can be very punishing if you miss some of those turns. And yeah, I'm not used to driving front-wheel drive car, so that was a fun change-up. But certainly ended in my favor tonight.
Well, that is always good. Obviously, 6-second dominant win over Tyler Brown and, of course, Adam Thomsen. And one thing we noticed in the standings here, you're creeping up the standings here. And of course, with your road course background and being very good on the road courses, you got to be thinking maybe the championship is still on for yourself.
Yeah, I try not to really look into that too much. I mean, I just kind of like getting out here every week with the boys and driving, and it's been a good race today. Certainly a lot less cautions and a lot less wrecks this week, which is an improvement I know everyone is happy for sure. But yeah, definitely looking forward to doing a few more races here and then ending the season in the Formula cars.
Now, we've seen, with the TCR, you have different manufacturers, and of course, everybody has their preference, but of course, there's always a meta when it comes to iRacing. What made you choose the Audi?
Yeah, great question. I owned the Velociter ahead of time. I did a few laps. Didn't really feel great to me, and then I bought the Audi and ran a few laps. It felt good. A different style of car for sure. So it was a big learning curve to kind of get comfortable. But yeah, I don't know what the best car is around here. I just ended up getting fast in the Audi and just kind of pushing through.
Well, yeah, I will say I'm a big fan of the Audi. So anytime I see an Audi out there, I'm instantly going, that guy's going to win because they're driving an Audi. So congratulations. Who would you like to thank for the win today?
Yeah, definitely like to thank everyone over at XSLR, all the team over at Slow Motion Broadcasting, all the folks back at the Zoot Lord Race Factory, and everyone home for the holidays. Hello, everyone at home.
Well, congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Road America. And Merry Christmas to you this week as we approach the holiday season.
Merry Christmas.
Derek Folk, our race winner here tonight. Now, I'm not sure if we should even bring Adam in here.
Hang on, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try and just briefly.
We'll give you a minute.
Yeah,
we'll
we
give
go.
you a
We're
minute.
good.
He can sit there. He can sit there.
We're good. We're Gucci.
All right. I'll bring him in here. And come on, there we go. Adam Thomsen, our third place finisher, who decided that the VTEC was the best way to go, even though it failed tonight. And
He was running the Hyundai.
The what?
Oh yeah, the Hyundai. Yeah,
The
that's
Hyundai?
all right.
Oh my, you guys are killing me right now.
It's Hyundai.
It's Hyundai, I think.
No, it's Hyundai.
I don't
Go
think so.
go watch
I think you're wrong.
go watch World Racing Championship. They say it's Hyundai.
I don't believe you, and I don't agree with you.
Well, too bad. You don't watch rally. I do. So,
Okay, whatever you say.
Yep. Sit down, son.
Wait a minute, you don't watch rally and you mess up what lap we're on?
No, I watch rally. I watch
Yeah, you
WRC, mate.
And you messed up what lap we were on when we were doing the rallies?
Yeah, because they don't do laps in rally.
Now you sit down, Adam.
They don't do laps in rally. They go from
Anyway.
point A to point B in the fastest amount of time. What the hell are you talking about? I swear
sorry.
to God,
PBS
I
is
hope
debate
you have
of
a
the night.
terrible.
We're falling off the rails.
I swear to God, Adam, I hope your Christmas is ruined.
That seems a bit unfair.
No, nothing's unfair. Third place finish tonight in the Hyundai, and you were in the battle there for a minute, but just seemed like you couldn't quite keep up with Derek Folk and Tyler Brown tonight.
No, I couldn't. I mean, and that was kind of by design. I wanted to be a bit closer to Tyler than I was there at the end, but it's really podium for me now. I just need a podium and finish ahead of Jake. I know Derek's going to beat me for the next at least 3 races, including this one, so 4 if you want to include this. So it's not unexpected for me. What is unexpected is the fact that I podiumed. By the way, if anybody wants to race TCRs, you can hop on over here to XSLR, and we're going to run them for the next 3 races and never run them again.
Well, that's rude. I love TCRs, but okay. So tonight, the race kind of very clean. Obviously, the first one in many, many weeks that we have seen clean racing. That's got to feel good. But I do want to ask you about the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Folk, obviously the road course king, and he is sitting in third right now. Are you looking at that championship right now and going, "Hey, I maybe need to win one of these road course races over the next 8 weeks because we go to the Formula 3 here after the TCR cars."
Yeah. So the big thing is I need to look at drop weeks, to be honest with you, to see, because I know Derek stole one in the dirt road as well. So that hurts me quite a bit. So yeah, Derek is obviously a contender here, and he will be a contender going in through the season. I just need to stay on the podium. I need to be as close to him as possible. As long as I can see his tail lights, I might not be able to see his bumper, but as long as I can see tail lights, that's all that matters. But do not count Jake Ham out either. I don't know what happened to him. He started fighting his way back. I was watching the relative as well. Really, Jake is the closest rival I've got. I need to stay ahead of him. But yeah, Derek, there's no way I'm staying ahead of him. I just have to stay close to him.
And that's going to be tough, I would say, over the next next 3 weeks.
It's going to be. I would say tough is an understatement. I would not expect to be talking to me first for at least the next 3. The guy in 10 tops is just unbelievably good. Shout out to him. I mean, the man knows what he's doing when it comes to 10 top racing, and at least on the road, the asphalt road. And I can't be close, but as long as I can be on the podium and be getting, 25 points instead of 18, which is for fourth place, I'm happy with that,
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we head to Road America next week. Very tough racetrack. Hard to be consistent on that kind of a racetrack with lots of elevation changes. What are you looking forward to that?
I'm not looking forward to any of the next 3 races, first of all. But second of all, the carousel is probably going to be something that we're going to have to watch out for, especially with these front-wheel drive cars. They, as you probably noticed tonight, and Adam, you run them clearly, they like to get snappy, and then they like to get real tight if you're not careful on the throttle. So that carousel is going to be something that I think catches quite a few drivers out. And then, turn 1, turn 2 is going to be pretty rough as well. And turn 3, technically, turn 4, if we want to be technical, the downhill left-hander. Turn 5, it's going to be tough. Turn 6, maybe the easiest turn on the racetrack. And then you go into the carousel, then you got the kink, and holy crap, man. You guys thought this one, you guys didn't. I hope you had some good battles throughout the field, but next week is going to be pretty damn tough.
Christmas coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
And what's on your wish list for the Christmas season?
A better commentator.
Sorry, Ron.
It's been a good run.
Honestly, no. I love you guys for what you do. I've had a blast this year, and my mom asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and the fact that I couldn't think of anything super crazy or things that I wanted tells me how good of a year it's been for me. So yeah, I'm super proud of everything that I've done. Happy for my family. Obviously, we got Aspen this year, and you really can't put a price on that or put a bow on that. I've had an absolutely amazing year, and I hope everybody else, if they haven't, I hope it turns around for you next year. But yeah, I really can't. I can't ask for anything I haven't already gotten this year for sure.
Well, I thought maybe something on that list would be more talent, but that's okay.
Yep, wait for it. Okay.
See, all right, Adam. I was gonna make what I thought was a mean-spirited joke.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna come in and say that you're probably going to be hoping for a bigger gas tank for a Formula V.
Wow. Okay, Ron. With that, do you have any more questions, you asshole?
Nope, we're good.
Actually,
Merry Christmas to you.
Somebody else down in front of the bus with me. Guido came in the booth earlier and made that joke. It wasn't the same joke, but he did asked if you had run out of gas yet. So,
okay. Well, I'm telling you right now, we're back into the fuel conservation races for the next 7. So there is a chance now because we do have to pit for fuel. So maybe, you know what? You're right, Adam. On my Christmas wish list is to not run out of gas.
Well, can you say that one more time? Because there was a little too many W's in that sentence.
My Christmas wish.
Sounds like me when I was 8.
That's because he is 8. But
I'll take it.
Congratulations on a 3rd place finish, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
I'll see you later, guys. Big shout out, obviously, to you guys, the boys over at SMB, and my wife who's standing behind me and staring at me for some reason. I have no idea why, so that means there's something going on. So I'm just going to continue talking here and just hold her just waiting to talk to me. But no, absolutely massive shout out to my wife and my daughter. Big shout out again to Sarah for doing what she's doing over there in the real world and not in this. So yeah, thank you guys for everything you do. I hope to be talking to you again next week.
All right, we'll see you later. Have fun getting in trouble with the wife, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, we'll do.
So we'll find out the status of Adam Thomsen next week and whether or not he got in trouble for something. But Ron, how do we recap this one?
Well, outside of an interview that felt like a fever dream from start to finish, that was a fun night, I gotta say, here on XSLR. Even though the racing at some points in time was a little bit spread out, I will take that any day of the week over the bare-knuckle fistfights that we saw during the rally portion of the schedule that we're just off the back of. I'm a fan of road course racing, so I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks because I'll finally know what the hell I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, Rod, I guess I need to ask you this. Is there anything on your Christmas wish list? That is a very good question that you raised there. You know, my dad actually, when I was walking upstairs, I think probably to do a show, I think he asked me, hey, what do you want for Christmas and your birthday? And I was like, some socks. And it was at that point that I realized that all of my childhood aspirations of not becoming a boring adult have now gone away, and I have become a boring adult. Because I am looking forward to getting socks for Christmas. The socks that I got last time, I have worn a hole in every single one of them. Now, maybe I just have lead feet. That's most certainly the case. I'm still left here being like, how bad of a pair of socks can you possibly manufacture? You know, actually, no, I'm going to say another Christmas gift that I would like from the gods. I want to hit the lottery so I don't have to do 450 goddamn shows next year.
Well, I was going to say maybe another half a brain cell to help you out as well.
See, the last brain cell that I had went on a foreign exchange program.
That makes sense. I would too. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Slow Motion Broadcasting for round 13 of the XSLR. We have a lot of fun here on Sundays. So what you can do is hit that nice, beautiful subscribe button at the bottom of the video. Also hit that like. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, which would be a huge achievement here at Slow Motion Broadcasting. And what do we got coming up next here on the SMB channel? Well, Sim Racers Group F4 kicks off on Tuesday and Wednesday. Ron, you're going to have a nice little fun Christmas Eve there with the F3 car around the the Nürburgring GP circuit on Christmas Eve. And then Weekend Warriors returns next Saturday around Donington. And then catch us here on XSLR to cap off the weekend at Road America. And then we'll be back with Sim Racers Group F4 at Monza with possibly some rain. That rain. And then, of course, on New Year's
Scooby-Doo there.
Wednesday, December 31st, New Year's Eve, ring in the new year with Sim Racers Group F3 again with Hockenheim Ring, one of the best racetracks in the world. Weekend Warriors then returns on January 3rd with the Formula V series around Barber Motorsport Park, the full race course. And then we're back here with XSLR around Watkins Glen. So couple of jam-packed weeks of racing here for the holiday season. And of course, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this with your friends, get them all in here if you love iRacing broadcasts that we provide. Well, Ron, great night, good job. And of course, thank you for all of you watching. For Ron, Maunz, and everybody here at XSLR and Slow Motion Broadcasting, we will say good night and a Merry Christmas.